Good afternoon, colorists. I am Mia Leondo with Badass Art. I am here today with Botany Bay, newest book from my Land of Lordale collection. This is a new series. It is the is it the Hollow Hills or the Hollowlands? I'm sorry. It's the Hollowlands series. It just started. And there are lots of bees and lots of strange little creatures in the Hollowlands, so that should be fun. Anyway, I had a request for a very dark skin tutorial, and I chose this one. And I just got a new set of pencils. They're Skin Tone by Brutfuner. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not very good with German. But they're an oil-based pencil. I'm just going to swing around. I'm still kind of on my sofa right now. But these are the pencils. Aren't they pretty? I'm really excited about them. I just got them yesterday. I sharpened them. I sharpen my pencils before I use them the first time. And I'll tell you why. A long time ago, an art professor, told me that pencils are dipped in some sort of chemical before they leave the factory. And if you use them without sharpening, sometimes that chemical can stain your page after time. And I've never tried to prove or disprove the theory. He could have been completely pulling my leg. But I figured, hey, why take that chance? I'm just going to sharpen them. So I always sharpen my pencils before I get started, even if they come pre-sharpened. So since this is a dark skin tutorial, I'm going to get some of these deeper brown shades that are over here. The Brutfuners are also oil colored pencils. They are a soft core. They come with a wooden barrel, and I think that's about the core's just a regular size core. It's not an extra thick core like some of the Derwents come with that thick chunky core in there. It's just a regular core. They do come with numbers and a color name. This one's Glazed Ginger, and they do have some pretty names on these, so you can definitely keep track of which pencils you've used. So I'm going to go in here with this yummy glazed ginger color. I'm going to start on her temple area and around the eye. And one thing that I realized about these immediately is they have a tiny bit of a chalky feel, which I kind of like. I don't mind that. And they also lay down a lot of color very quickly. So this is something, I'm going to make several swatch videos next week. I don't know if you all are swatchers. I swatch my pencils for lots of different reasons. The biggest one, obviously, is I want to see what color they are when they're on paper. And I swatch my pencils on black paper and on white paper. That way I can see how pigmented they are and how well they're going to look when I lay them down on darker grayscale, because I like to work on dark grayscale. And that's another one of the reasons I started making my own books. A lot of people don't like dark grayscale. And, like, hey, this is what I like. This is what I want to color. So I just, if you can't find what you want from someone else, make it yourself, right? So anyway, I want to know how pigmented they are against white paper and black paper. I want to know how well they blend. So swatching is just something that I do. I have a big notebook full of swatch colors. And, I know my pencils pretty well by now. But when you get a new set, you want to know what shade that is. Is it unique? Is it something that you've been looking for? Is it a color that you've had to mix two other colors together before to get that? Is it unique? And it's just something that's good to do. You learn the pencil, you learn the colors, you also learn how much pressure you need to apply or not apply going into your picture. So you're not going to have an oops moment. You know, I've started pictures without swatching first, and I'm like, and I've just, you know, wow, it was way too dark, or, you know, or it didn't have a lot of pigment in it, but it had a lot of wax in it because it was just a cheap pencil. You know what I mean? So swatching's good. Get to know your pencils. Get to know them before you start creating with them. Now, you don't need a lot of pressure. This deposits a lot of color without a lot of effort. Take your time. You just want small, light circles. Very light hand. And you're choosing a darker color. It can be intimidating to color something so dark, but I promise it will look so beautiful when you're done. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. It is just pigment and paper. And most things can be undone. I'm going to sound like Bob Ross. They're happy accidents. No, no. They're definitely learning experiences, though. Some of the neatest art tricks I've ever learned were the result of an oops moment. Now I'm applying a little more pressure around the chin area. I want it to be a little more opaque. I don't really want to see a lot of that paper underneath. It's kind of a more of a burnishing move. Burnishing is when you apply so many layers or so much pressure behind the pencil that you can no longer see any paper. It's just completely smooth. And some people achieve that with a blending pencil. Blending pencils are basically just wax and oil mixed together with no color, and they help you push the pigment that's already on the paper around, kind of smooth it out without depositing a new color in there. And just about every pencil company, every big pencil company makes some form of blender or burnishing tool. I really like the way these pencils are performing. They are not expensive. I paid about $20 for this set of 72. I'm not finding them at all difficult to work with. They're, you know, so far. I used them yesterday when they came in. I couldn't help it. I had to get them out and play with them a little bit. And I found them easy to blend with each other and with other pencils. And that's something that's important too, especially if you use a lot of different pencils. You want to make sure the pencils that you invest in work well with each other. And that's something that you just can't know until you try. And that's another reason why I do these videos. I'm always going to try pencils. That's just an obsession of mine. And if I can save you some money by saying, oh, this is how this works, or oh, this won't work with this, then that's a good thing. Art supplies are expensive. It's just hard to know. I will say that the colors in this set are very warm. I didn't find them, neutral or cool toned like the colors of the world, the Crayola. They're very unique in the fact that when you look at the tone, you're like, oh, that is most definitely a cooler skin tone. That's going to work well with a very fair, portrait, and or a neutral, or a warm. I mean, it's very obvious when you look at them. This set does lean more towards the warmer shades. I like that because I strive to keep things kind of in the earthy, muted tones. That's just my style. So whenever I come across a set that, already is sort of leaning towards the color palettes that I prefer, hey, that's awesome. Kind of like the Derwent. They're just called drawing pencils, but they're muted earth shades, and they're beautiful. I love them. I'll get those out, and we'll do a portrait or two with those. Hey, if there's a set of pencils that you guys have been looking at or thinking or wondering, give me a shout if you'd like to see me review them. I have a lot of pencils, and if it's a set that I haven't tried or I don't have, I'm always like, hey, yeah, let's try it out. I also have a local art co-op that is run by the University of Illinois, and they carry an enormous amount of brand pencils on open stock. And I'm very lucky in that regard that 10 minutes away from me, I can go grab a handful of pencils from a brand that I just want to try. And boom, there they are. If I like them, I can order a set from Amazon because it's cheaper. Or go, nope, those aren't for me. What? Okay. And as you can see, it's just very lightly applied. There's nothing, remarkable. Just soft, light hand, small circles, and just, keep applying. And I usually start with the darkest shade. I know the darkest shade that I want to apply to her, and this is it. So I can't really go too dark. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not going to overshadow something. If I start with this, I can only work lighter. The darker gray scales receive lighter pencils so much easier. They actually, and I don't know what the difference is. If you're coloring something on white paper and you use a lighter shade over a darker shade, it doesn't always show up. And I don't know why. But if you use a lighter shade over a darker shade on black paper or dark grayscale, it does show up. It's the most amazing thing. And I tend to work backwards like that from dark to light. So that's why I was always searching for darker grayscale books. And I always make my eye area darker. It's just a style thing. You don't have to. And I haven't even thought about colors for this girl yet. I've just been concentrating on the skin tone. I don't know, maybe some purples, plums. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about purples and plums with some silver and gold. I don't know. She's kind of mysterious. Or maybe a dark red. That would be kind of neat too. A hunter green. There are lots of different possibilities with this picture, so give me a shout. Tell me what colors do you see? Do your pictures talk to you? Do they say, hey, I need to be chartreuse and turquoise? Sometimes when I'm flipping through, the colors just pop out at me automatically. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what this needs to be. Very nice. Okay, now I'm not going to work on her neck and shoulder area today. I just wanted to work on her face. So I'm going to switch over to another color. This one is, well, I'm not even sure how to pronounce that, so I'll just let you look at it. But it's like a taupe color. It's unusual. And sorry about the yucky Band-Aid. I don't know what I did. I looked down earlier and my thumb was bleeding, so who knows? Now I'm just trying to make her face nice and neutral. We've got that darkest shade around the darkest areas, the contours and the shadows. I want to make this nice and neutral so that I can, kind of judge, is it dark enough? And I think it is. I think it is. And just pull that color right back into the darker shade so they blend right in together. It's kind of a seamless look. Hey, if anybody tried the pastel, make your own pastel from the last video, let me know how it went. I'm kind of anxious to see if anybody tried it. Now we're not done with that darker pencil. I'm just going through with this kind of medium tone. To even it up. Sometimes when there's too much difference between them, it kind of throws me for a minute. And I'm not using very much pressure. Like I said, these pencils have quite a lot of pigment. And they don't need a lot of encouragement to give you quite a bit of bang for your buck. if you're using, say, like a Colors of the World or, well, the Poscas don't have color names, which is fortunate. I would say you wouldn't want to use anything lighter than the medium tones in the Colors of the World. Medium, medium, dark, dark, extra dark, darkest dark. I know how those colors, they crack me up. And if you have them in a swatch book, if you've swatched out your pencils, then you can kind of compare sets and know, what's comparable in this set to that set. I think another reason I do it is so I can say I've used every single pencil that I own at least once. Because I get that question. Have you used all these? Yes, I have, every single one of them. My husband collects sneakers, like Adidas, Nikes. He loves his sneakers, and so I love my pencils. And the other day he was like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I ordered another set of sneakers. They'll be here." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. I forgot to tell you, I ordered another set of pencils." We don't care. Okay, I feel like I need to do a little bit more work on her nose, but I don't want to make the video so long that we get bored. That's another question. Let me know how long is too long on a video. I've had different range of answers, so I want to make them, that's going to work for the most of you. "20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45. I can do an hour-long video. That isn't an issue at all. I just don't want to make videos that are just way too long and dragging out. Okay, so on the next one, we'll come in with a lighter shade even than this, and we're just going to kind of even this up. But then we're going to come back in with the darker shade again and go around. Also, we'll probably start on her neck area. She's got quite a bit of skin showing through, so that'll be fun to decide if this is going to be a see-through kind of a chiffon or if this is going to be a solid material, and I haven't decided. But if it's a see-through material, then her flesh will actually peek through, and we want to make sure that we accommodate that. I might make that an executive decision that it's a see-through kind of thing. Let me just sort of put some flesh tones in there real quick. Yeah, I think that's going to look pretty. Okay. All right, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this beginning of the dark skin tone, and it's it's darker than the last one that we did. And I hope also that you've enjoyed the Brutfuner flesh tone pencils. I certainly have. I'm very happy with this purchase, and I've enjoyed them so far with this portrait and the one I worked on yesterday. But yeah, so okay, I hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.